And of course, my precious Bambu A1 is having issues again. Howdy, howdy. It's the start of a new week. Let's take you through what we have going on in our little print farm. So, overnight, it looks like as though I had all three of my prints finished. On the A1, I was just printing another batch of the Cinderwing unicorns. The last one sold out at the farmer's market. Although it was a lighter purple color, so I wanted to go ahead and print these ones. Over on the A1 Mini, we have the Void Octopus. This sold out. We only had one of them at the farmer's market last time, but it sold in the first 30 minutes. So I'm going to print a few of them. I already printed a blue one right over here and a pink one. And over on the P1S, whoops, I printed a large or a full-scale crystal dragon in a rainbow filament, which I'm very happy turned out fine because I have actually had, with the rainbow filament printing the crystal dragon, I've had 3 times now that the dragon has gotten dislodged in the middle of the print, even with glue. Now, I think the reason for that is because I had to use, with the silk PLA, you're supposed to use the standard plate, which has always worked fine. I'm not sure why it's a problem here. But for some reason it was removing itself from the bed. I went ahead and did the Super Track Cool one. You're not supposed to do the silk PLA, so hopefully I didn't damage it. But yeah, we'll see. For this week, the plan is going to be to just build up our stock and get all these bins of all these items filled up just for the festival that we have next week. So we do have the 2 farmers markets this week, but next week we do also have the Waldonesian Festival, is the one we're going to be going to. That's going to be up in Valdez, North Carolina. So yeah, it's the start. So my table's pretty empty, but we'll see how we come throughout the week. All right, it's Wednesday morning, and looks like 2 out of my 3 prints have finished. I was just working on some of my smaller dragons, just to build up my stock because I only had a couple of them left. I'm actually really liking this Tadling. This is I think it's the Heartwing one, something like that, by Cinderwing. So I'm actually going to be printing a few of those in just various filaments. On this one, it is I think this is the Ferret that I'm doing in kind of a more feminine look, just that way get a little bit of variety there. So far I haven't really had any hits on the normal Ferret, so I kind of wanted to see if it was the color choice, which I just went with standard colors. In here we're doing some of the cowboy crabs. We've had a few people interested in these, but I just haven't printed any in a bit, so I'm gonna go ahead and build up my stock. Otherwise, my goal for today is I'm going to be filling up these bins like I had my T-Rexes. They finished last night as well. And I'm going to go ahead and put a printed price tag in these bins, which, let's see. Okay, I have it for this one. So I printed these price tags right here. So I'm trying to make sure I have a price tag for every bin. That way it makes setup much easier. I'm also going to go ahead and use my gloop, which I have only a little bit left in my first bottle because I spilt it, and I have another bottle that I had ordered. This stuff, if you glue anything, it's great. I don't know how it's different than super glue, but as far as the bonding, it does really good. I barely have anything that's, like, nothing really breaks on it if I make sure that I hold it together long enough for it to bind. So I'm going to be doing that, get my price tags together, preparation for the 2 farmers markets this week, and then the Waldonesian one later. Looks like my daughter was playing with the Pikachu earlier. Well, I guess that's one way to display things. We'll see. Alright, looks like we got our first order on our Shopify site that we had set up. Now, I've had that set up for about 3 weeks now, and so far, I've had some people pop by it, but I haven't really had anyone buy. I've just been getting my orders from Etsy. So I decided to turn on some ads for a couple dollars a day. I think I'm doing like $2 a day. So it's not much, just because I don't want to spend too much for now. And it looks as though one of those ads did result in a small sale now. It hasn't offset the amount I've spent on the ads so far, so I'm still keeping the price at $2. But yeah, they ordered. Actually, it was two of the Bigfoots and one small one. So I'll be packing that up and shipping it out here in a little bit. For those that have branched away from Etsy and done their own site, how do you market your site? I mean, I've tried to do it between the YouTube channel and Facebook, and I've tried to do some Google SEO optimization type things, but I didn't really get anything until I did these ads. Is that just something that we have to get used to? Is that just kind of what the idea is? And if so, what's a good budget that you would recommend? I'm very risk averse, so I don't want to go too crazy and start spending too much before I really start making anything from it. But if $2 is too low, I'd like to know as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks. It's Thursday, and our cowboy crab's finished up, as well as the little colored ferrets. We've been busy making sure that all the price tags have been glued up, and they were just sitting out just to dry, just for all of our products that were ready for the festival. I do need to do a few more signs I'm going to update. But yeah, that's everything that we've got with the signs. As for what we're printing today, on the A1, we have Cinderwing's new Crystal Wolves, which I think is starting to turn out pretty good. We're going to do the Winged Wolves afterwards, because my daughters all think that it's really cool looking. On the Mini, I've got two of the small dragons that I finished, just trying to rebuild my stock there. And I have some of the foxes. I'm not liking the amount of stringing that I'm seeing around. Oh, that's because my poop bin is full. Okay, so it's actually not on the actual product. I'll have to figure out what's up with how it got clogged up. But yeah, these turned out pretty good. That one was just a purge one, just to not have as much waste. I'll see if anyone's actually interested in buying a striped one. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I normally do the infinity cubes, but the infinity cubes are, I've got plenty of them, so I don't want to rebuild any more of my stock. Okay, so that's cleared there. I guess it was just a bundle that got caught up. So the one thing about the poop bin on the P1S is it's got such a small hole, whereas the A1, it flings it to the side. I have a little bit more risk of it actually clogging up and creating a blob of doom, which if you've ever experienced one of those, they are not fun. And of course, my precious Bambu A1 is having issues again, saying that the filament failed to pull out. I keep having issues with this one right here. I typically try to avoid it. I've used it a few times and it's been fine. I'm not sure what's going on. If I run any of the other ones, they're fine. Oh, ignore that. That's just because it wouldn't fit on there. But yeah, I keep having issues where it's not... I guess it's getting caught up in the tool head, but I don't understand how it's related to that particular slot. I've swapped the tubes to different ports. That doesn't affect it. It just has to do with what's going in there. And if I go to resume it, we'll do that real quick. That'll take a second. See? It's just attempting to pull back, and it's not able to pull back. So I'm not sure what's going on. I mean, I'll be able to clear it. But yeah, if you guys have run into that several times, let me know. I kind of don't want to have to replace this. If I have to, I will. But this particular printer is less than 6 months old, so yeah, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Alright, I found the culprit. Looks as though it had gotten, I don't know if it bent in the tool head or if it was already bent and it forced its way through, but it was caught right in here. I had to end up removing this part right here to lift it up, push the filament down, that way it would expose this, and then just snip it off, and that took care of it. I'm going to try to keep an eye if it occurs again, see if it keeps happening. I replaced this entire tool head, so I don't see how it's related to this. But it also doesn't make sense to me as to how that would be the cause. But it keeps following that one, so we'll see. If you guys have run into that, I'd really appreciate any feedback. Alright, I'm at the Gastonia Farmers Market. This is my setup that I went with. So far, we've actually been pretty busy compared to the normal farmers market, but the temperature's a lot cooler today. Alright, it's Saturday. I just finished the Gastonia Farmers Market. Started off looking pretty decent. Within the first 30-45 minutes, we had broken $100. I was very optimistic. And then the rain came in. And what started off as a really cool 71 compared to the 100-degree days we've been having, turned into us just sitting there, not many people coming through. So, yeah, is what it is as far as that's concerned. Currently have all my items out here because they got not decently, but they got a little bit wet, just because I got a dehumidifier in here just to dry it out, because tomorrow I have another farmer's market. Or sorry, tomorrow I actually have a back-to-school bash that I'm going to be doing. That one's only going to be about 4 hours as well, but I'm expecting it to be a little bit better. So we'll see. I'm just drying this stuff out, and I'm going to pack it right back up for tomorrow. Pikachu, I had quite a few people who really, in the beginning, were discussing, you know, the Pikachu options that we had. I had one person ask if I could do a full-scale Elmo for them, although when I ballparked a price for them based on the size and dimensions it was for this, they weren't really interested so much, but it was still a nice conversational piece. I didn't need it for today because it was cooler, but I did pick up a fan that is great, battery powered, was able to charge our devices through it. I know with how hot this summer's been, that's been that's going to be a lifesaver for any other ones that I do, just sharing that. But yeah, I mean, we did end up making about $220. Most of it was card transactions, so we did get some stragglers that came through afterwards. But based on the momentum in the beginning, I probably was expecting to double that. But we'll see how tomorrow goes. For now, I am printing some mini cats that I've been meaning to print for a while, and just some articulating slugs. I just started those. They should be done before the festival tomorrow. And yeah, touch base with you guys tomorrow at the back to school bash. This is our setup at the Papa Docks in Lake Wylie. We had the chance to do 3 tables this time. And we even set up our tent and everything. Alright, it's the end of the week on Sunday. We just got back from the Papa Docks back to school bash event. Overall, it was only a 4-hour event, so, you know, not too much expected for it. It was a little bit of a pricier one for just 4 hours. I think it was $75. I mean, I don't know if that's pricey. For me, I've done festivals for less than that, and this was only a 4-hour event. Um, it was okay. I was hoping to break around 500. There's a lot of traffic that came through. We had a decent amount of people that were looking. However, I don't know if it's because of the other vendors that were there or what, but there was a lot less people that were purchasing, except for, I mean, I did get plenty of sales, but just not as many as I was expecting for the amount of people that came through. So we ended up making $390. Of that, 142 was credit, 248 cash. So it's not bad. I mean, almost $400. If we factor the $75 takeaway out of it, and the fact that there was only a single food truck that was actually a little bit pricey, so because my family was there, we had to deduct another $65 for the food. You know, that kind of cuts into it quite a bit, but I guess that was optional. I probably should have just packed my own food. But yeah, did quite a few pack and eggs. I sold the rest of my void octopuses except for one, so I need to remake those. The weather was nice, which is great. It just yeah, right at the end of it was when it finally started to rain a little bit, so packing up was a little annoying. That's why I have all these items out like here, just to allow my mini split that has a built-in dehumidifier. It'll just dry out everything that's in here. Pretty much keeps this room dry. But yeah, so it wasn't too bad. I mean, for the week, it puts me at a really good week. Just means I sacrificed the entire weekend, but yeah. So for the week on Etsy, we had 4 orders that totaled $68. It was a little bit lighter on Etsy for the week. But if we factor in the farmer's market yesterday and this one, that puts our total at $681 for the week. So that's not too bad. Next week, we are going to be doing the Waldnesian Festival. That's going to be up in Valdez, North Carolina. Hoping that's going to be going good. That's our expectations. Typically, whenever we do the festivals, we're breaking over 1,000. So that's kind of what I'm hoping. I do need to work on getting some more eggs. Those are always pretty popular between the mystery and the pack and egg, so I'm going to look at getting those made on the mini printer for this week. And past that, next week I'm just going to be building up some more inventory, making sure I'm pretty well stocked for everything, getting some more of these. We're a little low on the horses. And yeah, so we'll see how it goes. Looks like this just finished. I did update a sign because I didn't like my other sign. This is kind of a all-encompassing deal sign that I'm going to be doing. We have the pack and egg for $25, mystery eggs, and some little bundle boxes. I had a bundle box thing before, but it was a lot more complicated, so I figured I'd keep it simple. It's kind of a way to incentivize someone to maybe spend a little bit more to get some extra special. So we'll see how that works out at the festival. One thing about the event that I did today that I did try differently, and it may have affected sales, is normally whenever I do the events, I either do an L if I'm using 2 tables, or I'll do I want to call it an N, where it's like this, and I'm on this side. Maybe I'll put a picture in the video so that way I can explain it a little bit better. To where I'm kind of inside of it and everyone kind of comes around. This particular event, the spaces between everything was tighter. Because it was tighter, we opted to try to do a U approach where they walked in and kind of had a shopping experience. I didn't quite like it. I felt like I wasn't able to interact with the individuals. Some people were just walking by and just kind of looking because maybe they didn't want to enter in. I'm not sure. Maybe it was just my thoughts. Curious, anyone who's done a lot of festivals, how do you typically do your tables? I mean, I did have a video that showed how I did it for this one. You know, how is it that you tend to do it? I'm curious. Any recommendations? I do know I need to go vertical. Actually, me and my wife were just looking at purchasing some tiers that's going to go beside the table that'll help us go a little bit more vertical. But yeah, that's going to be what our plan is. But I'd like to see what you guys do when you're at the festivals. All right, well, that's pretty much it for the video. I'll go ahead and wrap this up. And if you did enjoy this video, please remember to like and subscribe. I would appreciate any comments that you guys have about videos, any questions that you have. I'd love to answer them, and any thoughts on anything I can do to improve my, selling and my festivals and all that kind of stuff. Thank you for watching.